All things being equal, three-sport athletes are considered closer to the limelight than other athletes. Interestingly, sometimes being a three-sport athlete can be a disadvantage. And that was exactly what it was in the case of quarterback Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills quarterback pitched on his school's baseball team and was the leading scorer on his basketball team. Of course, taking part in other sports other than football meant he was athletically gifted and could make it to the top as a sportsman. As great as this seemed, it almost stood in the way of his football career. This is the truth about Josh Allen. Born Joshua Patrick Allen on May 21, 1996, Allen grew up on a 3,000-acre cotton farm close to Fireball, California. Growing up in a small town meant Allen didn't have the same level of exposure as kids that grew up in big cities. And as much as this made it a little difficult for him to get noticed, it had its own good sides. He didn't have to deal with the distractions that plagued the big cities. He simply focused on working on the farm and being a sportsman. At the time, Allen measured 6'3" and 180 pounds. He was yet to attend a single elite quarterback camp. Additionally, his high school team was missing in action in several 7-on-7 camps because Allen and his teammates were busy taking part in other sports. Although this didn't seem like a lot, it deprived him of visibility and made him get little interest out of high school. Well, he didn't let this stand in his way of becoming a leading quarterback in the NFL. Going by how far Allen has come as a professional, one might be tempted to believe that he had an easy ride to the top, but this is far from the truth. You see, the quarterback's journey to the NFL was long and rough. After high school, Allen struggled to get a scholarship. He had grown up as a Fresno State fan and attended both football camps and games, so he attempted to get the interest of the program's coaching staff. Sadly, he failed at this. That's not all. At about the same time, his father made attempts at getting the attention of the Bulldogs as head coach. However, this attempt was futile. Tim DeRuyter, the head coach of the Bulldogs, didn't think Allen was worth the scholarship. Allen's future as a football player looked bad, but it was about to get worse. He didn't get a scholarship offer from a single NCAA division program. This included the second-tier FCS and the top-level FBS. Well, in the midst of his inability to get a scholarship, he finally secured an offer from San Diego State. Interestingly, instead of jumping on this offer, he decided to turn it down, as there was no guarantee he would be a starter. This meant he was looking for more than just a scholarship. He also wanted to be a starter, as this was one way he could make it to the NFL. Since he was unable to secure the scholarship he had hoped for, he had to settle for Reedley College. He was at this junior college for just one season, and he spent his time preparing for better opportunities. Although he was still unsure about his future as a football player, his time at Reedley College wasn't bad. One of the football assistant coaches at the time was his cousin's husband, so he was in safe hands. While at Reedley College, Allen grew to 6'5" and weighed 210 pounds, so his coaches assumed with his new size, getting an FBS scholarship offer would be easy. But that wasn't what happened. He continued struggling even after trying to get the attention of every single quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach in the FBS by sending them emails. Sadly, things just didn't go according to plan. Only two small schools responded to these emails. They were Wyoming and Eastern Michigan. Both schools offered him a scholarship. Unfortunately, he couldn't even make a choice, as Eastern Michigan withdrew their scholarship upon learning that he had visited Wyoming. Allen was glad to attend Wyoming, but there's a likelihood that he was simply lucky. They had other plans and had sent a scout to Reedley to watch another player. Fortunately for Allen, Dave Brown, who happened to be a former Fresno State assistant and was now at Wyoming, had encouraged the Wyoming Cowboys head coach Craig Bohl to recruit Allen. And that was how Allen left Reedley College and joined the Wyoming Cowboys. Moving to Wyoming showed that Allen was progressing, but things still weren't easy. In his first season, he made one start in 2 games. Unfortunately, he couldn't go on with the season as he suffered a broken collarbone. Since his collarbone broke in several parts, he was out for the season. Additionally, this injury took place early in the season, so it made the quarterback eligible for a medical redshirt. Allen became a Wyoming Cowboys starter in 2016 after his return from injury and considered declaring for the NFL after recording 28 touchdowns and throwing for more than 3,200 yards. He had already spoken to his friends and family about his decision. Well, he ended up not declaring for the draft, as he was quite unsure of this. Additionally, just before the deadline to declare for the draft, his father had a meeting with his coach, who told him to encourage his son to spend one more year with Wyoming, as this would help with his long-term NFL prospects. Allen listened to his father and spent one more season at Wyoming, where he threw for 1,800 yards, 6 interceptions, and 16 touchdowns. In 2018, just before Allen was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, there were rumors that he would be drafted as the #1 overall pick that year. Well, that wasn't what happened. He was drafted 7th overall and put pen to paper for the Bills for a 4-year deal that was worth $21 million. Now in the NFL, Allen's struggles continued. He had to compete for a starting quarterback position in training camp and the offseason with Nathan Peterman and AJ McCarron. Although he showed his talent, he was set to play as backup to Peterman. But Allen ended up getting his big break. He made his first start to the Bills in Week 1 of the 2018 NFL season. He didn't get this opportunity because Peterman was injured. Rather, he started because of Peterman's 0.0 passer rating. In this game, which saw the Bills lose 47-3 to the Baltimore Ravens, Allen recorded 26 rushing yards and 74 passing yards. The next week, he started against the Los Angeles Chargers. This game ended 31-20 in favor of the Chargers. However, the NFL saw an improved Allen. He threw his first touchdown pass and finished with 245 passing yards. Allen finally tasted victory with the Bills in a Week 3 game against the Minnesota Vikings. This game saw him dominate the Vikings in the first half. In this 27-6 victory, the quarterback passed for 196 yards and a touchdown. As much as he generally had a great game, his biggest highlight of the night was the moment he hurled over Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr. This play went viral on the internet and is one that fans of the quarterback will not forget. Allen's rookie and sophomore seasons were decent. However, his breakout season came in 2020. This was the season he led his team to their first division title and playoff victory in 25 years. That season, he was named to the Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro honors. In 2024, he was named the most valuable player in the NFL and was the first Bills star to win it after running back Thurman Thomas. Additionally, he was the first Bills quarterback to win the MVP award. Since joining the Bills, Allen has led them to 2 consecutive championship game appearances, 7 postseason victories, 5 consecutive division titles, and 6 playoff appearances. That's not all. He's also set and broken a number of records, and the most recent of his records is his new 6-year contract extension. This contract, signed on March 9th, 2025, is worth $330 million with a guaranteed $250 million. At the time of this signing, it was the biggest guarantee ever offered to an NFL player. As it stands, quarterback Josh Allen might finish his professional career with the Bills. Well, this isn't a problem. However, will he be able to bring them a Super Bowl? Only time will tell. If you had a blast watching this, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest crazy content. Drop a comment below and let us know which moment blew your mind the most. Catch you on the next one.